Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about the old saying that money cannot buy happiness. Now, one of the things I try to get people to do is to think these catchphrases and sayings that people have, reverse them. Think of them in a different way, because sometimes you might garner a better truth out of that. So the saying money cannot buy happiness. Well, I don't know anyone that actually says money can buy happiness, but let's think of it the other way. Happiness cannot buy money. See, many people talk about, well, I'm going with my passion. I'm doing what I love, and they think they're going to make a bunch of money. And they fail miserably and don't understand because they thought they were doing what they're supposed to be doing, because they're following their passion and their bliss and doing what they love and all this nonsense. But the mentality that you need to be happy 100% of the time, and anything that's a little bit hard work or maybe is not as pleasant as you might want it to be, that needs to be avoided, because you just need to do what you love. That's a fantasy world. That's a childish mentality. That's looking at the world with this utopian, childlike mentality, and it doesn't work in the real world. It fails miserably every time. There may be people doing what they love now, but many of the people built the life they built after having worked very hard, doing things sometimes that weren't pleasant, but doing them because they knew they needed to. They need to be diligent and hard in their work, intelligent about how they're doing it, but that's how they got to where they are. And too often people look at the end result and see some billionaire on some private island enjoying life and say, well, that's what I would like to do. But they don't see all the years and decades of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that got him to that place in life. He didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to follow my bliss, and then end up sitting on an island with billions of dollars. That's not how things work. So while money can't buy happiness, and no one says it can, your happiness can't buy money either. And you're delusional if you're going to go around pretending you're going to be happy without any money. Too many people diminish money in their own mentalities. They have a negative view of money, which there's no reason to have a negative view of it. There's nothing wrong with money. And yet they go and work 8 to 10 hours a day for money. They don't work because they're doing what they love, or they're following their passion or following their bliss. They're doing it for money. And yet they're not honest enough with themselves to say, you know what? Yes, money is important. It's not the most important thing, but you don't have to clarify that. Because I don't know anyone that says money is the most important thing. But money does have importance. It's your trading ability. It's your ability to provide value and get value from other people. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have transportation. You wouldn't have food. Unless you lived out in a field and squatted in somebody else's land and ate wild produce. That's not how things work. So my friends, get out of this mentality, well, money can't buy happiness, and realize that happiness can't buy money either. If you're thinking you're going to go through life floating around in a cloud of happiness and not have to work hard and not have to be intelligent about what you do and not have to do things that maybe other people wouldn't want to do to get to a position of success and wealth, you're never going to make it. And here's the thing. In the end, you will be happier if you have more money. It's not money buying happiness. It's that money brings you the freedom that you can be happy. The vast majority of marriages have problems because of finances. And when they do studies, 70 and sometimes 80% of the people, their biggest problem in life is what? Not even relationships. Because even if they do say relationships, and then you break that down, it's based on finance. The relationships are having a problem because of finance. Their biggest problem in life is finances. So stop pushing finances away from you and decrying them as being something awful, and start realizing that you need to be in a position to be taught to profit, to have the power to get wealth. And you can do that if you'll change your mentality. Stop thinking about money the wrong way, because the average person out there, they pretend humility, they fake it. They talk about, well, I don't need that much money. I'm quite content by myself, not realizing that that is the most selfish and evil mentality you could have. They just want enough for themselves, and they don't care about anybody else. They don't care about being able to give and being able to help. The wealthy people I know, what are they doing with are they buying Ferraris? Are they buying Lamborghinis? Well, some are. But you know what else they're doing? They're building hospitals. They're building schools. They're constantly doing more for humanity. And meanwhile, poor people are going, well, they got a Lamborghini. That's not fair. They're just greedy. And they don't give a penny to anything. They're not doing anything. They're contributing nothing to the world. And this is the problem. When you have that mentality, money can't buy you happiness, you completely dismiss that. You shut that door to wealth because you're saying, I don't need it. It'd be like the person that goes out and plants one little seed in the ground and says, well, I don't want to plant any more because I don't want a big harvest. I mean, what if I have a big harvest? What am I going to do? I mean, I'd have to give it away. I don't need that much. It's just enough for me and my family. That's what you're saying. You're selfishly saying you don't want to give more. You don't want to have more that you can give. Just enough for you. Because money can't buy happiness. But you can't be happy struggling and barely getting by each and every day. At some point you have to wake up and realize that your relationship with money is wrong and you need to change it. You need to stop loving money and having this love-hate relationship with money where you really love it because you're working and doing things you hate only for money, but then on the other hand, you hate it and talk about how evil it is. And when you have that contradictory mindset about something, you're going to fail miserably. Money, true wealth, is a tool you can use to bring great abundance to the planet. And by you having a lot doesn't mean anyone else has to be without. So get rid of that love-hate relationship. Money's a neutral thing by itself, but what you do with it and what you can do with it is what makes it good or bad. It's not something to be loved. It's definitely not something to be hated. It's something to be used in a wise way that builds upon itself, and you earn so much of it that you're able to bless others. My friend, I pray this was a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.